Ooh. Greetings, King. Love, King. What's the word? Back at it, right?
Positive energy, and we keep it going.
Always, always. So, this is Beyond Thought, part
Session.
4,
Okay.
session 4. Oh, man.
Oh man.
So, we continue where we left off. I think we left off on page 36 of the book.
Around.
Um,
Okay.
we were talking about conditioning and all these different.
Yeah, and the common sense was breaking down common sense
Okay.
and going into or relating to relationships with intimate relationships, relationships with ourselves and the whole universe. And life is about relationships. I think we should be in the relationship section around in there.
Okay. Absolutely. And the relationship section pretty much still on 36 basically if that's the section. I thought we closed this one out, but um
Yeah, I think we pretty much did, and then it's we can flow through the book the way we feel we flow through it. You know,
okay. Um Self destroys all relationship. Self is an image. Where there's image, there's illusion. Where there's illusion, there is no truth. And where there is no truth, there is self deception. Talk to me.
mm. you know, when people in relationships, whether it's marriage or dating or with with a parent and and the, and the children or brother and sister, a relationship that anything requires a team or teamwork. Whenever all relationships have their ups and downs, they have their bumps in the road, as they will say. But the common denominator of all breakups in relationships, no matter what it is selfishness, the action of selfishness. That root has so many branches. It's like fear and depression. It has so many disguises and escapes. This selfishness has the root of selfishness. I call it the root of all evil. We touched on that yesterday. I think we ended on that. How selfishness created money, and they say money is the root of all evil. And we were saying, just to recap a little bit, those who wasn't with us last week, we were saying the money is the root of all evil. It's written that the money is the root of all evil. But in the book, I'm explaining how selfishness created money because the earth gives everything for free. And humanity is the only species paying to live on a free earth. But selfishness says, this is mine and you owe me, this debt thing. We ended on that word debt last week because money is debt. And but selfishness put us in a deficit, no matter what the relationship is. And that root, which is the root of all evil, creates money. It has the branches of money and possessiveness, and murder is there, and lying is there, and any deceptive work. And we would say that all the killer D's is in that selfishness, the degradation, the discouragement, despair, depression, danger, deception, debt. Selfishness is a terrible thing because it knows no father, mother, brother, sister, child, unity. Self destroys our unity. And the ego comes from the self. So In the book, this self is guilty. This selfishness is the enemy.
Absolutely. I also want to touch base on paragraph at the end of 36. You said we try to eliminate our psychological tears with various intellectual and religious methods of seeking truth. Trusting crafty intellect to lead us to an inner peace only blinds us by the obvious fact that truth has no path. Expound upon that.
Yeah, um, hurt doesn't discriminate. You know, part of the premises of the book is the limitations of thought and discussing hurt, hurt and depression in order to live without hurt and depression. And we all hurt in our own different ways, or we are all hurting, or we experience some hurt. And
Excuse me.
and in society, you know, thought creates all of these. Thought is a controller, so thought will try to create your depression. Thought is a controller, so thought likes to control our fellowship. Two people getting along, two different races getting along, and thought tries to control that with money and ownership, which causes separation and selfishness. Thought tries to control everything. It thinks thought is limited, but it thinks it's unlimited. And thought, whatever we're into, thought tries to control it. That's why it's hard to be silent. You ever try? People try to meditate, and they when they put that word "try" in there, they say I can't meditate because I'm always thinking of something. See, thought even wants to control silence. But in our hurt, in this struggle in life and society, thought will come in and try to solve our hurt and our seeking. A lot of people, like what we touched on yet last week, but we all have a common sense to love, observe, learn, protect, and survive. That first action of common sense is love. We all need love. I know it sounds corny and it sounds poetic, but it's just a fact. When a baby is born, a baby is totally helpless. A baby needs love. Even animals protect their own young. This is the action of nature, of how nature extricates itself from conflict. And nature is a loving, moving enlightenment. And in order for us to move with this positive energy, we must love. But our society is controlled by thought, and thought controls society with time and self centeredness. So, in that self centeredness, we seek truth, we seek love, we seek all of these things. We know that there's something wrong, and it is a lack of truth. So, thought creates a truth, even a truth, an organized religion. And, you know, thought creates truth and it creates paths to these organized religions. Like, in order to get to God, you must come through the Savior. In order to come through, get to Allah, you must come through Muhammad. You must come through this or that. Now, the book doesn't attack religion. That's all fine because it gives you an insight of your inner self. But deep down inside, people can go along in society like everything's okay, but we're divided. Even the people that follow Catholicism and Christianity or Judaism or a Jewish rabbi or a minister or a priest, it hasn't worked in all these years because we're still barbaric. We're still uneasy. This is because we're following this thought, that idea created that is the path to truth. And truth has no path because truth is not a destination. It's not like when someone says, I'm going to the market. You can't, you can't, you can, you can go to your phone and you can what they call it when you go to the map on the phone on your cell phone.
We can pull up your GPS.
Yeah, you can't GPS truth.
Since you touch base on relationship, I like to break down something you say about love in the book. You said love is not based on the past or experience. Love is experiencing life without illusions. In the present now, love is correct attention of righteous order that has its own discipline, right? Love is always correct, fresh and new. Love is harmonious action without any attachments. Love has no script, therefore, no scriptures. To see love in a relationship, one must be aware of what love is. If you're not aware of what love is, let's take a look mainly at what love is not.
Yeah. Uh yeah, there's a lot in that because again, the book is called Beyond Thought, Living Without Hurt and Depression, because thought tries to control everything. Now, thought has its place when it comes to recalling and remembering, and we must know how to repair things and remember our way around on the job and around the city. So thought has its, but when thought is out of place, like trying to control nature, trying to control outer space, trying to control love. See, that's when we become dysfunctional. That's why everybody has their own definition of love because they're trying to go through to love through thought. They try to create a path to truth. They try to create a path to love. You can't cultivate love because thought takes love and controls love. Thought is a controller, so thought will control love with knowledge and words. People say, I love you. I'll die for you. I'll do anything for you. And then you open the refrigerator, they say, don't touch that. That's mine.
Oh man, you gonna eat the last cookie, Willie? Willie, you drunk my juice. That was my juice, Willie.
That was my juice.
I thought we were synchronized. I thought we were one. I thought you were me,
Hey,
I am you,
yeah.
whatever, whatever. And I noticed you also break it down. You said love is not sex. Love is not hurt. Love is not fear. Love is not image. Love is not desire. Love is not money. Love is not violent. Love is not pleasure. Love is not jealousy. Love is not knowledge. Go in depth with that.
Yeah, because I try to break it down as best I can, and for people to look at what's left over. You know, if love is not sex, but they call sex making love, but 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 I can have sex with somebody I don't even like.
Repeat that.
You mean repeat that with the person or repeat that? No,
No, repeat that. So those of us that didn't hear you are aware
they
now.
say they say sex. Sex is often called making love, but I say in the book, sex is not love, but it's called making love. Is labeled thought labels sex as making love. See, thought likes to put a path on everything. Like sex, if sex is making love, then sex is the path to love in a sense, but it's not because I can have sex with somebody I don't even like.
Wow.
But when you're in love with somebody, you can express it with sex.
But wait, I got a question for you. I have a personal question for you. Have you ever making love? Have you ever made love without sex? Or am I just the only one? To
Oh
sit
no.
there, to
Well,
sit there with a woman naked and just touch, kiss, and feel, listen to her breath and so on and so forth without entering her. Have you ever done that?
Oh, I'm an artist. I'm a songwriter, musician,
Excuse
writer.
me. I'm sorry. Excuse me, sir.
This is what
This is
this is
what you
what I
do.
this is what we do.
That's my bad, King. My bad. Talk to him. Talk to him. I thought it was just me, man.
No, I mean I think it's everybody if they tap into the voice of the heart. If thought is not out of place, all these things happen naturally. It really does.
The crazy thing about that too, doing that without entering the woman, to me, it seems more powerful because the energy that's met in between both you guys, it's ridiculous. It's like a spiritual type of energy that no words can actually explain what's coming off that energy.
There you go. And you know what? That's what I mean by thought will try to explain that. Thought will try to control that even. That's what we're talking about, Jermaine, is the compassion of love. You can't have love without compassion. And thought will control compassion with emotions and sensations, and that's when self it gives birth to selfishness. But if you're in that love, positive energy, a woman can have an orgasm with a touch because you're in that energy. It's an extraordinary thing. It's just like two people come together and they're not thinking about anything but themselves, not in a selfish way, but they are with each other and they're in the action of compassion. They're not even thinking; they're in the action of compassion. And out of that, see, when you're in the action of compassion, your heart is involved, and and nature and universe is involved. This is why two people that's in the action of compassion, a beautiful baby will come out of it.
And that's why love is immeasurable. Love is whole. Love is holy. Love is righteous. Love is order. Love is energy. Love is action. Love is attention. Love is compassion. Love is truth. Love is free. Love is peace. Love is understanding. Love is intelligence. Love is pure. Love is giving. Love is sharing. Love is natural beyond thought. Dude, who are you thinking about when you was writing this?
Well, maybe somebody was thinking about me.
Okay.
You never know where these vibrations come from.
Okay, slick.
You never know. You just never know.
The artist.
You just never know. But we do appreciate feeling good. They call it a natural high, you know, a natural high, a high that's not according to anything. I'm not, a natural high is not according to a great meal, you know, or something that happened that was great. That natural high is just being holistic with the universe. And artists have felt this and painted masterpieces. Artists have felt this and created great albums. Look at Stevie Wonder's Song in the Key of Life, Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. I'm I haven't sat with them guys and talked extensively personally with those guys, but I've met Stevie Wonder, and I've met people who have um, known these people personally, and I'm sure of it that a lot of things they created just came to them in that natural high.
Like Earth, Wind, and Fire, right?
Oh yes, yeah. Maurice White, he created that group off a natural high, and it just kept on going. That's what my book is about. Uh, Establishing a relationship with what brought you here. You come through your parents, but you come from the universe.
I need you to expound upon what you meant when you said to love is to die.
Well, you heard that before. People say to love is to die. Oh, I'll die. I'll die for you.
That's very
And
poetic.
yeah, it's poetic, but
Very poetic.
if you look at that, if to love is to die, then what dies? You know, uh, if to love is to die, then selfishness has to die. But people don't want to kill. People don't want to get rid of their selfishness, their ego for love. Love is not going to work with your ego. I'm sorry.
What are the signs?
Well, the selfishness. That's the root of all the signs. The root of all the signs. The root of all the danger signs is selfishness.
Do we always see those signs though?
No,
Uh,
you know, because why? The question is why we don't see those signs is because of this selfishness blinds. Selfishness creates a blindfold.
since you're speaking about selfishness creating a blindfold, I need you to explain the identification of it. Like, how do you identify these things?
Well, I always say nothing is seen that isn't shown,
Okay.
and that's a matter of attention, correct attention. And I say the universe loves us so much, it gives us a heart, a physical heart that keeps us in shape biologically, that keeps us healthy. But it's a holistic existence. It's a spiritual heart also that keeps us, that communicates with us beyond words, beyond thought. So it's not going to let danger happen to us without a warning or a sign.
So when we miss those dangers, is pretty much we fail to absorb, not absorb, to observe these dangers, and that's how we miss them.
Well, it's yeah, that's one of the ways we miss them. But look at everybody's every day. We can hardly sleep. Do we have enough time to sleep? Because we got so many deadlines to meet in the morning. Uh, we're controlled by time and self-centeredness. But when we're driving, there's always signs, right? 35 mile per hour, 45 miles per hour, detour, do not enter, um,
Dead ends,
dead
stop,
end.
go, caution.
Hello,
Yeah, yeah, multiple signs.
multiple signs. We're barely, we barely pay attention to those signs.
We stay on the phone. We're distracted.
So if a man can create a road to work or a road to GPS, all these places, and he puts up warning signs on the road, so the universe is going to give you better signs than that. So we have to know identification of a relationship. We have to know identification of the problem of the relationship, the truth of the relationship, the solution of the relationship. And uh, if somebody gives, the universe gives sign, no danger ever happens without a sign, because flowing with the universe is flowing with solutions. But we're all looking for answers. But we're on this path of what thought created, so we just keep going around in circles. So we must look at this deep. We must get some quiet time during the day and look at ourselves deeply and see what's wrong. Really look deeply at our relationships instead of being so superficial. People are breaking up because somebody doesn't have a car. People are breaking up because somebody just got laid off. People are breaking up because somebody, you know, it's superficial things. We have to look deeply at the signs of what's wrong before what's wrong happens. There are always signs.
I'm sorry. Um,
There are
okay.
always signs.
Speaking on the signs, another part is the death and dying. Pretty much, death is the end of the action, right?
Oh, death and dying, right?
Yeah, debt.
Okay, yeah.
When I said woman said debt, like
I thought you
yeah,
said
but yeah, the accent, man, you know what it is. Yeah, debt, as in debt, lifeless. Yeah, gone. That's your head, not good.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Finito. Finito.
finito. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, we're getting into the other chapter of death and dying. Yeah. I say that life is action, life is energy,
Hmm.
and energy is action, and action is life. And death is the end of action. When there's no action, there's no life. But
Mm.
I put this section in the book because I talked to so many people. It's funny, Jermaine. I've talked to some of the hardest people on the planet. I've talked to some of the softest people on the planet. And Jermaine, uh, some of the hardest people told me their life was changed when their son was born or when they had their first child. And and but both hard people, tough people, and both soft, sensitive people, they both told me the same thing, that their life changed when somebody was born and their life changed when somebody died.
Why is that?
I think it confirms what I say in the book, that we all have a common sense to love. It depends on our conditioning, how hard or soft or sensitive we are. But deep down inside, we want to be loved, and we want to hold on to that love because we live in a society that's so self-centered. And when somebody comes along that gives you some love that society is taking away from you, you want to hold on to that. And part of this hurt and depression is because of this death and dying, man. You find out that somebody, your grandmother, your mother, or your daughter, or your son is is got 6 months to live. That means he's dying. Or somebody gives you a call and says your daughter just died. That means death. That's gotta. I think you gotta. Everybody dies with that a little bit.
Why we never look at it in a different light though? Like, you know how they say you're supposed to laugh at death and cry at birth? Why we never look at it in that aspect?
That's why I put it in the book. That's a good question. That's why I put the that chapter, death and dying, in the book, because people always, we don't talk about death enough, like it's a bad thing. We don't talk about graveyards. We don't talk about death. People like to shun away from that.
I
It's
don't
a
think I don't
it's a
think it's like, I'm sorry, I don't think it's they like to shun away from it. I think it's the programming we've
Yeah,
ingested and how society program us that have us fearing death, because in actuality everybody's ignorant to it, because if you're walking around you don't have no experience
right.
to that, but the loved ones that you've actually lost has the experience because they're going through it.
A lot of people don't like to admit that they don't know anything about it. And how can we know anything about it? It's hard to interview a dead person, right?
house. I'll pay money to see that interview.
Oh, that would be the class. That would be classic interview.
Miss Cleo, call me now.
And how long you been dead? I've been dead about 400 years, and I've come back to do this interview, and yes, and I want to tell you about this death thing. Yeah, and if that happened, then I would believe in heaven and hell and all of these things.
VA Duppy satellite.
Yes, but death is such a phenomenon. You can't interview a dead person, so why even go through this big thing about how hell is and how heaven is? Nobody has been there and come back and told anybody.
But isn't that the problem though? Because even if most people don't know something, just the thought of you saying you know it, they're gonna say, I know it too.
Right.
And it's a lie. It's a damn lie. It's okay not to know. It's okay to hear somebody else's point of view on it. I just wanted to say that. You can continue, King.
But that's what it is. It's just their experience. Well, I died and came back. Well, if you died and you can't come back after you die. Death is the end of your action. So in the book, I don't interview a dead person. I don't say this is how it is. I just ask the question, what dies? Because we all know that death lives next door to all of us. So I don't I don't follow birthdays. I don't count age. I look at myself as evolving. So, I don't look at age because death is next door to all of us. And babies aren't
Oh,
going to move. We're
oh,
here. We're here today, and we're going tomorrow.
oh, that's why when I say elder, you act like you don't hear me. Cause you still feel like you 20. Okay. Okay. Makes sense now. I'm I'm grateful you actually mentioned that.
Hey, I look at myself as energy, but that's what I go through in the book. What dies? Have we ever looked at what dies? We say like, oh, so and so's dead, so and so passed away, whatever we call it. But I say, ask the question, what dies when
You,
somebody comes to death?
I can answer that. The
What is
the flesh is gone. It's the flesh. This is no longer with us, right? But in order for this to be with us, there's something else beyond this.
Mhm.
We're energy. You just mentioned we're energy.
Yes,
So what happened to the energy? Where did the energy go? Like nobody looks at anything deeper than
right,
surface level.
right,
They stay above the surface. They don't like to go beneath.
yes,
They don't like to tap into the darkness. Too much work.
yeah.
Too much work.
But really looking into what dies gave me a whole new inner over and understanding about death and dying.
Share that with us, please.
When you look at what dies, see, we are nature. So even the flesh goes back to the earth. We come from earth, we go back to the earth. Earth recycles. Man's thought do not make the earth turn. Man's thought do not create spring, summer, and the seasons. Man's thought do not control the universe. So when you look at what dies, the flesh goes back to the soil.
Hey, wait. So you're telling me this whole time when I walk outside and it was raining and I said to the universe, listen, I got things to do today. So you might want to hold off on that rain until I
Mm,
get back in the house. And it stops. I didn't control that because I'm a part of the source.
Hey, if you could, if you could tap in, if your heart is connected to the universe, you could tap into it. Or you can actually you can move planets.
I'm. Am I the one? Am I the only one that's crazy? But go ahead. I might be the only crazy one here. Go ahead. And it works every
You know,
time for me. Can't
hey,
speak
when
for
you look
nobody
at
else.
this, when you look at this, you see that meditation is the truth and the society is the lie. But we have switched this around. We go everything comes from the earth and it returns into the earth. This is a fact. You can actually see this. We blossom like the flower and we wither away like the rose. You can actually see this if you live long enough. You can see yourself turn gray, get slower. But spiritually and energy wise, you have the same energy you had when you were 18 years old in terms of how you see. And I mean, we learn things differently, but in terms of seeing and inner over and understanding, that energy never dies.
I can tell Dr. Sabi was a perfect example of that. Man was still having knocking him up at 87.
You tapped into the energy. You'd be surprised at the herbs and the food one can eat. It would just change everything. It changed me. You start to see things differently and feel things differently. You become more sensitive and the relationship grows stronger. But this death thing, you look at what dies, and that is the thoughts and ego dies with that person.
Since you're on that, let's talk about truth and reality.
Yeah, I went into sections when talking about death and dying, and because we have to look at what I think we should look at what dies. I see that we should look at what dies. And in death, we see that truth never dies. But the reality of life is death.
So it's time versus timeless.
Yes.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That
Yes.
makes
Reality is time. Reality is the movement of time.
that makes so much sense. So knowing this, how do we deal with the division and conflicts that separates both time and timeless?
Well, it seems that it separates division and complications and conflict and cause is the cause of our death. I see it as why we die.
Okay.
See, once you divide your relationship with the universe, with what brought you here, it's the beginning of death. Because I see that this beautiful planet that we're on, this awesome universe, it wasn't created by evil. It wasn't created by conflict or complication or division. Division is where we get all of our hurt, depression, sorrow, and cause and death from, and disease and stress and pressure. All that comes from division and war. And where there's the division, there is cause. And where there's a cause, there's a complication and conflict. This is just facts. So that has to die. Sometimes it dies immediately, but it creates a path that ends in death. And in that path, you have thought, you have selfishness, you have thought that's out of place, you have uh, all those things like that, that causes division, like thought out of place, selfishness. Uh,
So there's no righteous freedom, pretty much.
no, there's no freedom in that. That's what makes somebody very ugly and very stubborn and very confrontational and fault finding. That's where all of those uh, attitude and people take a certain attitude and position about life. That's where all the racism and prejudice comes from. Somebody who is very disconnected with the peace of life, and they're dying, and whoever associates with them dies with them. It's like following Hitler or following anybody uh, who's a racist or following any group that uh, that says, you know, I'm the way and you're not. So it has to die. So selfishness has to die. Uh, Division and complication, it has. That's what death. That's the action of death.
I like for you to separate um, selfishness from self love because a lot of us um, like to put these two things together. Like, I have to be selfish to love myself. And I don't view it as such because once you have love and security within you, it's never for yourself.
Right.
So what would you say to the people that thinks like this?
Well, it's like I really don't attack anybody the way they think or anybody's religion. I just say look at it, look deeply, question your religion, question because the the person that that thinks that the Jewish rabbi is security is the same. Okay, listen to me close on this. Bear with me on
Nah.
this. There are different religions out there, from Jehovah Witness to Buddhism and all these religions. But my book is about looking and questioning everything. That means find out for yourself because we're all more alike than different, despite all this diversity. We all, and you can't say that that's a lie because we all come in the same way and we all have a death day. So we're more alike than we're different. So the person who who thinks that the Jewish rabbi is security, he's 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 looking at the Jewish rabbi as security the same way as a Christian thinks that Jesus is the Savior. As a black man that thinks that the Baptist church is his church. The same reason why uh, a Jehovah Witness will go door to door because they feel that this is security. They know that there's something more than life than just a car, a house, and wealth, and goals, and eating, and activity of enjoyment and pleasure and sensation. The person who follows the Jewish rabbi, he knows there's something more to life than just uh, personal sensations or enjoying life. He knows there's something more. The Jehovah Witness knows that there's something more. This is why they just pick what they're into. But my book is saying there's no path to that.
And
It's, there's no
it, it
path.
and it shows too because no two people that reads the Bible ever gets the same reflection from it.
Yes, and that's why.
We can read the same page and never get the same reflection. Like,
That's why.
but nobody looks at that. Like, how did you get that versus me getting this?
Right.
Like, come on, like it's right in front of you. That's why I say sense is not common anymore.
Exactly.
It's not common because it's showing you. What do I know, man? I'm still learning. I'm still growing. My
But
cup
that
is
is, but that
empty.
is, that's the answer though. That's the answer because if the sun shines on everybody and everything, so for me to go up and say this is how you look at the sun, no one can say this is how you look at the sun. The sun is shining on everything and everybody.
Even when
Once
it
you cut it,
rains.
even when it rains, the sun is there. You can't say, you can't put a path on that. This is what I'm saying about organized religions. You can't say this is the path of Jesus, or this is the path of Muhammad, or this is the path to truth according to the Jewish rabbi. There's no path to it.
You know the beautiful thing about nature is, Rich? It's uncalculative. Have you ever? I stay in Georgia, so I'm walking outside, and to the left of me, it's raining, and to the right of me, the sun is shining, and it's dry as it's dry as a chip. So I can take both. I can take both hands. It's like on one hand the sun is shining, on the other hand is wet. Why people don't examine things like that and understand that the order that they're following is not just and it's not true?
I mean,
Because
that's an awesome point.
and it's in front of us. It goes back to us seeing it. You know, I get I get a certain burst of energy when I see stuff like that. I'm like, how? I'm like, wait, why is that possible? Why is that happening? And I enjoy it. We're so focused on showing the world everything that we're seeing that we fail to enjoy it. People go on a trip and they're, oh, yo, I'm here. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, mad pictures. The time you take to take those pictures versus enjoying your trip, you're gonna go back home like, oh, it was cool, but you never truly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's they say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And I say you could take a confused person out of their city and have them travel over the world, but everywhere they go, they're going to be confused.
Perfect example. And I I witnessed something yesterday. I'm not gonna say no names. I'm not gonna say my relation to them. Two sisters. They went on a trip in Africa. Not knocking their religion. They like churches. So they went to experience something. Both of them paid like $1,600 a piece, right? But both of them are fighting among themselves. They fight. They fight amongst themselves here, and they're fighting amongst themselves in a beautiful place with so many history, so many new things to see, so much things to do. And y'all doing the same thing y'all would do when y'all in the States. And I'm like, y'all in a foreign country, enjoy each other, protect each other. Y'all can do that fighting when y'all come back. But for now, be the greatest friends y'all can. Enjoy your moment. Like, why pay so much to go through agony and pain? Go see the pyramids. Something like you get what I'm saying?
Yes, but that's a perfect example of somebody who who seeks truth. You see, common sense says you can't GPS truth. If you could GPS truth and peace, don't you think everybody would be there?
Not everybody. Some people will still be lost.
Some people will still be lost. You know that, right?
Come on, man. I've seen people with GPS still end up the wrong place. I've ended up in the wrong place with the GPS. So yeah, some people still would be lost, King.
They will still be lost. But the point I'm trying to make is that if 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 peace was a destination or freedom or truth or God, we would be out of this mess. So you can't put a path to it. It has to be you have to be touched by it.
And go back to a certain part in the book. You also you expound upon that. You said all humanity shares the cause of debt,
Yes,
which is the conflict and division of sin or selfishness, right?
yes.
We must let go. When you say let go, let go of what?
We got to let go of selfishness.
Okay.
When somebody dies, we want to hold on to that. That's why we got to look deeply in life. We got to look at life deeply. Bear with me on this. I always say nothing is seen that isn't shown. I always say keep conflict and complications out of your life. Simplify. Now that's very easier said than done. But we live in a society that's so cold. When we have somebody that cares about us and loves us, when they pass, it's a devastating thing because they made the world such a better place when they were here. And some people grieve themselves to death after somebody dies. But my book is saying enter over and understand the death. We must let go and let the universe evolve. The universe evolves. So that means everything comes and goes. Everything blossoms and withers away. So I'm not saying don't grieve and don't have any feelings. I'm saying if anybody loves somebody, you're gonna cry. You're gonna have that's gonna happen. But don't let it control you to where it just goes on for months and years and it kills you. Don't I'm saying don't die with them. Continue the love that you learned from them on. They passed the baton to you. Keep it going. Grieve and keep it going. Let the grieving pass through and you understand it. They never really died. Their spirit and energy is with you. Just the physicalness and their ego has died. We're all guilty of something. But some people at the funeral, they don't want to let people go. Especially black people. I hate to say this, but black people, we emotional.
Take me, take me, take me, take me, take me, take me.
Yeah.
Let me go. Take me in this. I love my people, man, but we a trip. We a trip. Oh man, we a trip.
don't, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the other nationalities don't grieve and really care about their loved ones that's passed, but black people we're emotional. There's nobody under stress like the black American. So when somebody that's close to us die, we had took the casket over at the funeral. Ah, I want to go with them.
But it's not just that though. It's also the conditions that's left by that person. Because certain blacks within the same context is like, yo, get up out that, Earl. You left me with all these damn bills, Earl. You ain't leave for us, Earl. Like, so so there is that too. So the conditions within everything else, so that create that. It's not really that they want to go with them.
Yeah,
They just thinking about like what I'm gonna do now without Earl. you know? So that's what it
yeah.
is. That's what it is.
which leaves the question. Which leaves the question: when somebody is really crying at a funeral, are they crying because of the death, or are they crying for themselves?
Is that the truth? Or is that a mystery? Oh, hey man, why you always do this, man? Why you always got me seem
But
like
look, it's that's what my book is about. Being open and questioning everything. For those of you who listen, we're not making fun of death or religion or anything. We're just looking and questioning everything. And this is what we want you to do. We're not telling you to live like this, think like this, and we're right and you're wrong. My book is saying, look, you don't need an education, a middleman, a degree, a Academy Award, an Oscar, or a Grammy to look. You don't need a psychic, a rabbi, a minister, a church, a synagogue, a temple to look and question. And if you do this deeply, you will never be depressed.
When you talk about depression though, because they look at me like I'm cold because I don't attach myself to nothing. When I was attached to everything, like what's wrong with you? Now that I'm not attached to nothing, what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
What the what?
yeah,
He cold. He's detached from his emotions. How you know I'm detached from my emotions? Because I'm not within condition like you? Is that what it is? So I got the condition judging me?
yeah. And that's why the book is called Beyond Thought. See, thought is a controller. Thought will take things and control everything you're going through. Now, thought has its place, but only in memory and only in maintaining and sustaining the past. We need thought to remember how to drive, remember our way back home, to what to do on the job, to play piano, to work a skill. We need thought, but we can't let thought control everything. That is depression when thought is controlling you to stand still. Thought hates change.
One of the beautiful things that Alan Watts stated, he said, if you're home, be home. If you're out, be out. If you're making love, make love. If you're happy, be happy. Stop trying to do them all. And what I get from that is always resonate within the now. And he also state we should question everything because things is not what it seems in no way, shape, or form. You might walk in the bathroom and see somebody trying to save somebody's life. You be like, look at yo, there's these run out. Yo, there's these two gay dudes having in the bathroom. He just saved the other dude's life. So it's never really what it is. So we have to look deeper, and that's what Rich is saying. Beyond thought. Look beyond everything. And that's
Yeah,
just what it is.
and it's not as difficult as it sounds. It's not as out there and foreign as it sounds. I know most people don't talk like this. They're not used to this type of exchange, but this is how we're born. I'm not smarter than anyone. I'm not telling anyone I'm not telling anyone anything that they don't already know, but this is what people forget when we're conditioned by society. I just happened to uh the universe just happened to tap me on the shoulder like a butterfly sitting on my shoulder and bring this back to light for me in
Look at
my
this.
in my suicidal state.
Look at this too, Rich. Smiling is the easiest thing to do, right? But it works so much different muscles in your face. The easiest thing to do, and it's healthy, but we don't do it.
Well, how can we do it when it was when I have to get the bread and the bills are due and the woman is acting up, and the man is acting up, and the kids and the children need shoes and clothes, and insurance payment is due, and I need a loan, and I might have to pay the lottery this week. I'm short on everything.
But wait, those things never stop though.
They never stop.
They keep going. So at what point do you take a step back and say, you know what? I'm not going to worry about them. They're going to keep coming. I'm going to make the best at what I can and keep pushing for sanity's sake.
Yeah, and that's what my book is about. Take a break. My if my book is saying anything, it's saying take a break and give yourself some quiet time, and you will see what I seen.
Observation.
Yes, the menu is not the meal.
The menu is not the meal. This guy is so poetic.
I mean,
What
that's a
else is not what it seems? Talk to me. What else is not what it seems?
it's very obvious that society is not what it seems. That person you see in the suit, the woman with the long hair and the suit, and everything you see is an image that they want you to see. It's like a big menu with great pictures of food and great entrees, but you can't look at the menu. It's like being at dinner with somebody and be like, oh, look at this great entree. Look at this meal. Look at this dessert. Hey, honey, did you see this appetizer? Okay, let's go home. I'm full. You got to have the meal for the nourishment. The meal is the nourishment. The menu is not the nourishment. So a woman or a man with a great body is the menu. That's not the substance. The wealthy person in the great car is the menu. That's not the nourishment or substance of the person. It's just uh, the substance of the person is the meal. The nourishment of the person is the meal. Everything on the outside is the menu. The only thing that doesn't lie to you in a sense of the menu is not the meal is the universe, nature, or earth, or your inner being or heart. When the body tells you, when the body is sweating, it's not lying. When the body tells you it has to urinate, it is not lying. When nature shows you the rain, it's not lying.
Oh, you don't believe the body? Hold your piss. Let's see what
If you
happens.
see what happens if you go against nature. Look at what we're in here. Look at the turmoil that we're in, trying to think for nature. All this science and mathematics and physics and all of these things has their place, but the earth doesn't need man's thought. Why are you drilling in the earth, taking all this oil? Or we need the oil for machinery, but have you ever looked into why the earth has oil?
Lubrication
So
for.
there you go. The lubrication for the granite and the earth turns.
Mm-hmm. We don't look at nothing. We don't look at nothing deep, man.
And that's why we're in this mess.
It's not a mess. It's chaos, man. It's controlled
Yeah,
chaos.
it's a big kid. But on the other end, we're not saying that thought has done some great things like surgery and technology and all these things. But thought has become a game that's went too far. Ego and self-centeredness has just gone too far.
Said it the last one. We said that on the last. I think it was part three. Like, imagine if the sun had an ego and said, "Well, Sky, I'm not coming out today. I'm gonna sleep in." If it
Right,
sleeps
right,
anyway, because
right.
yeah, I think the sun actually goes down and where when it's just relocating to another area. And it's the crazy thing about it is it's never off course. Gotta ever pay attention to that? The sun is never off course. What time is it by you, Rich?
Yeah, I'm on the West Coast in the United States, so it's like 3 o'clock here. So,
Okay, is the
but
sun still shining by you?
yeah, the sun is bright and beautiful.
Okay, it's not shining by me, but within the morning it's gonna be back over here. That's nature. That's
That's
natural.
yeah,
How does
and
it do that?
it's not even about how does it do it. It that's what it does.
Ha.
But see, we won't leave it alone. We're so into well, how does it do it? It's fine. Don't even try to look into it. You can't put your limited mind on the movement of something unlimited. That's why we got all of this science and astrologies and mysticisms and world religions and and rights and wrongs and Jewish people say we're the best, and black people say we're the best, and white people say we're the strongest, and the Indians say we know this. Now, this is why I don't get into any of these labels. I would believe that, Jermaine, if the Jewish people said we are the best and chosen people, if the sun only shined on them, I would believe that. And for the Indian people to say, oh, we're the natives and black people and the white people say we're supreme, if the sun only shined on them, I would believe that. But they got 2 arms, 2 legs, and a brain. They live and die just like everybody else. So what's the big deal?
Some even quicker.
What's the big deal? You live and die and use the bathroom just like everybody else. This this is I'm not saying anything deep. This is common sense. But people
Sen-
buy into this stuff.
Sense ain't coming. Sense ain't coming. Because to to the basic individual, they're not looking like, yo, we're the same thing. We're the same essence. We're vibrational and we're resonating on the same frequency and blah blah blah. We're separating ourselves because we think we're bigger than the earth. We think we're bigger than the rock. We're bigger than the dog. We're bigger than the bird. Are you stupid? We're the
It just
same energy.
we're the same energy. Now people have different traits. It's obvious. I look at the obvious. It's obvious that black people have a different rhythm. They have a different energy. It's obvious that white people have a different thing, and Indian people, and island people, and Caribbean people. But where one is weak, the other is strong. We're here to work together.
Without
For some,
judgment.
for someone to say that I'm supreme and I want to colonize and control everybody else, that's the problem. That is the problem.
Or I'm dying out, so I'm trying to minimize you from actually repopulating and straining your generation.
They're crazy. You can't control nature. You can't. But we're trying.
There go that word again. Try.
Oh,
Try.
they're trying their best.
Trying for me is mediocrity. Wanting something for me is out of reach because you never get it. To try, you will never do. To try eliminates you from the present, eliminates you from the now because you're going to keep trying and never reach whatever the you need to reach because you're trying versus doing. I'm sorry, Rich. It's your interview, man. Let's go. You got me over here getting all passionate and enjoying. It's all you, baby. Let's go. It's all you. Oh, my bad.
Go ahead. You on the road.
I've been reading the book too much. Go ahead. It's reflecting. I'm seeing it too. I'm seeing it. It's like every day I see something new. The more I drive around and pay attention to the trees and pay attention to the bird, the different colors, the way the sun illuminates certain things, the way it shines through the cloud, the way the rain drizzle, the way the breeze blow and stuff like that is the more piece of me comes back. I, I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's slowly depleting my worries. I'm no longer focusing on the conditions. I'm okay. Hey, phone bill's here. All right, that's due next week. Cool. All right, that's all. On to the next.
You know, it's so difficult, even on a job that stress you out. They give you breaks, right? It's mandatory that they give you breaks. It's a state law that you get a break if you work an 8-hour job. Why can't we take a break in our lives to get some quiet time to get in touch with what brought us here? We come through our parents, but from the universe. And people say, well, my quiet time is church. My quiet time is my Bible, my Quran, my synagogue, my temple, my minister. No, but question all of that.
But look, let's focus on the religion. And this is not a knock on religion. We're just we're generalizing here. Focus on that. Don't they also state that the body is a temple? So in actuality, the body is the church, and meditation is you praying within your temple? Or that's just me?
But that's what it's about. Look into it and question it. I'm not saying that the synagogue is wrong. I'm not saying that church is wrong or the temple is wrong or the mosque is wrong. I'm not saying that prayer is wrong. I'm saying look at it and question it.
Look, damn it, look.
Look, you know, what does it take to look
Split of a second.
with with all of your senses? With all of your senses, really question it and look at it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying look at it. What a relationship will tell you what it is. We're wasting too much energy trying to dictate and analyze. Let what you're into tell you what it is. It will. It will tell you what it is.
And also, for me, I don't go around looking at right and wrong. I actually look at it as a balance. If there's an antagonist, there's a protagonist. That's balance. You have a left, you have a right hand. That's balance. You can wash your face with one, but guess what? It's more difficult versus you washing your face with two. You cover more ground that way. Some stuff is just simple.
Yeah, we complicate life with letting thought control too much. Thought now, again, thought is a beautiful thing. Thought is a function of the brain that helps us recall, and we need it for our skills, and we need it in daily life. But when thought is out of place, we are dysfunctional. We are in disorder, no matter what it is.
But look at this too. We spoke yesterday about people being able to get back on a bike within 15 to 30 years and still have the ability to ride it. And they're not thinking. They just
Yes,
they're doing it
yes,
beyond thought. I,
yes.
I felt like throwing that in there.
Seems fitting. Seems fitting. Yeah, and we can. We're natural beings. That means we can do a lot of things naturally. Some people can just do music naturally. They don't need to read music. They don't need to go to school to do certain things.
James
They do it.
Brown.
They do it naturally. We are
James
natural beings.
James
Like
Brown, boy.
like James Brown. James Brown never went to music school. Michael Jackson never went to vocal college. Muhammad Ali didn't go to school to learn how to fight. Now, thought refines and can polish those things. You know, but you put them two together, you can really refine something. Whenever you work at something, you get better. That's just common sense. but the gift of it has no path. I could teach somebody how to play basketball. You could teach somebody how to play piano, but you can't teach what Oscar Peterson does on the piano. You can't teach what Herbie Hancock does on the piano.
or what the 26-year-old Jimi Hendrix did with the electric guitar.
It has no path. So that's what the book is about. Looking at these things, and you will never be depressed or hurt. It won't control you. A lot of people are being controlled by their hurt because they're not observing. They're not observing. Their observation is managed by all of this religions and science and education instead of liberation.
I got something better. Because for those who get it and those who don't, that's on you. In time, you understand when you get older. Um, you can synchronize your heart and your mind, but in order to do that, you have to be still. You have to be within a quiet place. You can't be around no noise, and it's not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take consistent action. That's all I wanted to state. Before you shoot it down, take action.
Yeah, that's the word, action. See, we don't look at this. If people say, well, how do I look at something deeply? Because we're so used to middlemen. We're so used to being told what to do. We're so used to being told how life is. We ask how, but replace that with action. There's an action that clears the mind. There's an action that eliminates depression and hurt. There's an action that soothes and heals us. The right question will lead to the solution. The right question will lead to the right answer. The wrong question will leave you going in circles like the how. But the right question will lead you to the right, will give you the right answer. It's not even a path to it. You see it, you're enlightened with it. And when you see it, it's just like if you're drinking a refreshing drink from a glass and someone says, don't drink that, that's the poison one. Immediately you would drop it. Once we see the light, action happens all by itself. Order happens all by itself when we can see the disorder, when we can see the poison, the danger. But it takes observation that's not managed.
Go hug a tree, man.
People say, go hug a tree, go hug. I mean, we laugh at all of these things. If the society has conditioned us to reverse it. We laugh at poetry, but we accept cursing. You know, we laugh at peacemaking and we accept and support going to war.
And the funny thing about it too, we see nature every single day, but we never stop to say hello. And this is regular things, regular conversation amongst me and you. And somebody from the outside looking in like, oh, he just said something deep. And like, that's not deep. You really want us to get deep? Hold up. Here we go.
Nah, we don't want to grab the scuba gear
And deep dive.
and go to the abyss and hang out.
We look at it like, oh, what they're saying is boring. But I dare you to try it. Or I dare you to do it.
It's just like eating right. If somebody was been eating candy and all their life, and then you give them a full course meal, they're gonna defend that candy. Oh, this meal is not gonna leave me. It's not sweet as candy, so I don't want it.
They're forgetting that this whole time they were training their body to be stagnant to the candy. So the only thing that the taste bud has is the flavor of the candy, and they have to redirect their taste bud to that food. And that's why when people start eating healthy, they say certain things bitter,
Yes.
right? Because it's been unnatural for a while now, so it's gonna taste bitter. But once you eat that bitter, so-called bitter thing on a regular basis, it becomes sweet.
Look, when I help people with diet, they tell me, "Oh, that's not good. I don't like that." I say, "Look, we're eating for nourishment and healing, not for taste." But society have made everything an entertainment, from sex to eating to religion. It's all an entertainment. You don't eat for taste, you eat for nourishment. Now, if you want a snack after you nourish the body, you can eat for sweetness or taste. But people eat for taste when it comes to nourishment. And it's the most worst thing you could do because there's no nourishment. Things are bitter for a reason, to attack what's negative in the body. That bitterness is for a reason. That sourness is for a reason, to activate the body in a healing action. Just like looking in meditation, to recharge the body. That's why we rest, to recharge the body.
Is there a wrong and right to meditation? Because everybody seems to have their own form of meditation.
You know what? It's like love. People say sex is making love. Sex is not love.
Sex is barbaric, man. Shit, painful.
Sex is, but people make sex whatever they want it.
It's pleasureful.
People have sex so many different ways. Upside down, in the car, under there, go over here. People drive around and be like, "Hey, we never did it over there. Why don't you slide down the mountain and I'll be at the bottom?"
Oh, it's funny. I just
Yeah.
saw some shit on. I just saw some shit on Google. The couple was trying the 69 position while driving and ran in somebody's house.
Yeah, and that stuff leads to, as you can see, it leads to destruction. It's self-destructive.
Oh man, that shit is funny.
But everybody has a right. Look, I'm one of the most open-minded people on the planet. Everybody has a right to do what they want to eat and have sex. That's your business. That's your right. We all have our rights.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Eat a table. Have sex upside down on the freeway. Do it. But how long you gonna last?
Ghost ride the whip on the highway.
You know, fly through intersections, having sex. How long are you gonna last though?
It might be a millisecond, might be a minute, might be an hour, but there's gonna be a conclusion that you may not like.
Yeah, this may be a boring conversation to some, but it's not boring to one who lost a loved one. It's not boring to one who's sick and would needing some comfort. It's not boring to one who's learning the inner over and understanding about losing a loved one and getting through the day. See, life uh, is serious, but then again, it's not so serious. But when you have inner peace, laughter is laughter. Those who think this is a conversation that's boring and outdated or doesn't have any meaning, those are the people that laugh while their heart is crying.
I'll see you in a couple months.
But I say, if you think it's boring now, go back and come back and listen to this again a year later, or when your heart is broke, or when you're looking and seeking.
Or cut your ear off and tell me you still can't hear me. We gotta make it fun.
But life is fun when you're secure.
Hey guys,
When you're laughing, you're laughing. Most of the people that laugh, their heart is crying.
Deep down inside, they're divided. But that's all because everything you tried didn't work. I went to church. I got a degree. I became president. I worked at the job. I retired. And it didn't work.
Sex you gave that man never kept him.
I had sex. You know, I have friends that be like, man, I wish I was a porn star. Man, they get all the women, they get paid for it. You know how many porn stars are in an insane asylum and kill themselves? If that was the life, why are they killing themselves?
But even peep this. I was like, yo, I can't wait to have threesome. So when I had the threesome, I'm like, this is boring. It's a fight. It's a fight. Cause one is thinking he's stroking me better than the next. Why you stroking her so long? And what's the issue? Like it's a fight. It's always a
Hey,
fight. So
hey,
it's it's not a real thing. Like I'm
hey,
seriously.
what book is that?
That's the book of Jermaine. That's my experience. It, it's trash. Remember in school, dudes is like, yo, getting ahead was the whoo, oh man, like the best thing ever, and this, that, and the third. I've gotten it with braces on. I've gotten it with the best extra shiny lips with strawberry syrup, chocolate syrup, and I still don't
What
like
time?
it.
What time is it over there, man? This the after 10 o'clock dialogue.
I'm just saying, I still don't like it. So I'm just making a point. Like, do what you do. Live life how you live life. Whatever your vice is, enjoy it. But stop and look at everything else. Look at it on a deeper level. And get Rich's book, man. It's a beautiful read. It's a
Yeah, I
beautiful
mean,
read.
and what we're talking about. Look, we talk like this not to embarrass but we talk like this to get you to your attention and to look.
We here. We
We
relating to you.
we want to make you mad so you can look. We want to make you say, "What did they just say?" Because activity is activity, whether it's sex upside down or going to Paris in the private jet. It doesn't. It's not gonna. It's not gonna eliminate your hurt and depression.
Your pastor eat the box too.
Hey,
he didn't thought he was gonna get catch doing it.
everybody's human, right?
There we go. There we go. And everybody is connected. And together we are stronger versus standing alone, versus separating ourselves because we're one energy. We're all source. But a lot of us are out of vibration and we need to synchronize. I don't hate no one, period. Love is always love for me. And the love I share with myself, I will share with you. I don't walk and see somebody that's less fortunate on me on the street and like, oh, they ain't. No, in actuality, I feel empathy. I feel sorry. And my aim is to always do something to aid. And that's what it is. This platform is to aid you. It's to show your vulnerability. I'm vulnerable too. I've been on here with Rich crying tears because I feel, I see, but I take action. I don't look at things in the way most people do. I go deeper. I stay with my snorkels on. And that's all I have to say. Rich, information. How can they find your book?
Yeah, you can find the book. You can email me at Rich Lamar 18 at Yahoo. That's RICHLAMAR 18 at yahoo.com. Or you can call me 702-610-0687. I can email you the book, which is just $10. Or if you buy it from me in person, it's a $20, or I give you a discount. Or you can Google Beyond Thought by Rich Lamar, and Amazon will you can get it from Amazon. And this is the just the fourth session. We're gonna go through the whole book. We just finished half the book, and 5 would be on observation, and now we're going back into the second half of the book. We just finished the first half, and yeah, this is what this platform is about, and my book is about. Hey, just look, look. You don't need to be black or a Grammy winner or need a psychic or need some kind of astrology reading to look. Look for yourself and question. Question everything. And and you don't have to live in struggle and stress, and you don't have to be controlled by that. If you look deeply at life when you're going through something, you can eliminate anything. And we're going to continue these. And I I see you the next session. Thanks everybody for joining. And we don't mean anything personal against anybody. We just like to get people's attention and get you to look.
And another
And
thing,
you know,
for those of you that would like to be a part of the weekly lives, go ahead and send me a friend request at King Jermaine. And if you want to inquire about Mentor Rolodeck, the group as well, send me a message in my inbox and we'll talk from there. Gratitude as always. Peace, King.
yep, positive
Love,
energy out.
love is love.